Hey guys, Lo-Fi here, back at it again with another video, this time on the Medicom Mafex Black Costume Spider-Man number 147. This figure just got a re-release, and I missed it. Day one, that thing sold out in I think less than 2 or 3 days. Yeah, it came out in May of this year, came out a few days ago, first few days in May, and sold out immediately. But not to fret, apparently. Obviously, I got this guy. So, how'd that happen? So, a few days before it went up for pre-order initially, because I was checking the website like a madman, I was just going through and looking through eBay, Mercari, everywhere, and some guy was selling this for $110. And so, I was like, I might miss the pre-order, so I'll take a chance, and I bought this guy. It came in a few days after the pre-order sold out. So, yeah, the pre-order sold out, I think, yesterday or the day before, and I got this guy in the mail today. So, yeah, there were some issues with this figure because it isn't the re-release. This is, like, the older version, and person who had it took pretty decent care of it, but the chest piece was not glued to the back piece, so those pieces were falling off, so I just super glued it. And with this figure, there are some QC issues, like the neck. There's paint rub where the neck area is, like there's a little extra bit of plastic on my neck area, so it does paint rub. So what I did is I have some, like, my wife is really good at like art, so she has like a bunch of art supplies, and she has these really nice art markers that are like, that have like a paint tip. And so I just painted it black and pretty much dyed the plastic black, so that way when there's paint rub I can't really tell. Sometimes I do have to reapply, but you know, other than that, this guy looks incredible. This has been my grail for 2 years, or whenever this figure initially came out a few years ago, because this guy was like $300 at some point. Regardless, this figure looks great. There's some blue paint on this black. The body mold is, I think, black, but the neck is white. But there's blue shading, and my camera picks it up perfectly. You can see all that lovely blue like paint put in there, and this is just straight up comic book style. It says it's based off of the Secret Wars design, but this is actually based on the later run of the 1984 Spider-Man comic books. Like if you get the collected volume called the Alien Costume Saga, this is what that's based off of, not his direct look from Secret Wars, because even the eyes are different than it was in that. The Marvel Legends figure, that would be more based off of Secret Wars, and whenever we get to size comparisons, I'll show that. But yeah, this is a pretty basic Spider-Man body mold. There's tons of articulation, but first, like, look at all this. This figure looks great from the feet all the way up to the top, and the articulation scheme is pretty great. The head looks up about this high, which is incredible. And like I said, just be careful, like make sure your figure doesn't have any like excess plastic or anything in the neck area, because I shaved it down a little bit, but that didn't really help a whole lot. But it'll look up this far, and he will look down about that far, and he's got some tilt, some great tilt. And, you know, he has like the all over rotation, you know. His arms can go up about this high, which is incredible. And they'll do a full rotation, you know, and then he has bicep swivel, and then he has these butterfly joints that can go in like this far, which is awesome. Like you can get into some really good web slinging poses. He has double jointed elbows that'll go in further than 90 degrees. Look at that. Look at that perfect right angle right there. And then he has a just like a ball joint wrist, so, or like a pegged wrist, but you know, it does the whole rotatey hinge. And then the torso will go in about, hear that squeak, going about this far. And then let's get that squeak again. Hear that squeak? Go all the way back about that far, which is pretty great. And the rotation can rotate pretty, oh, popped right off. That's actually the first time that's happened to me. So another gripe, pieces will pop off on you. So he'll do one of these. He's got some good rotation up and down. He'll rotate on both, but obviously it moves better on the top. And the legs are drop down, so he can kick forward about this high, which is great. He'll kick back, not so far, but with the drop down, which looks kind of funky, it'll go back about that far. He'll go out about this far. Can he do the perfect splits? His splits aren't super perfect, but they're pretty great. And then let's see. He's got good rotation. And then he's got double hinged knees. That'll go on about that far. Not quite all the way in, but still pretty good. And then he has that joint that'll let you rotate, let you go up and down, up and down. And he's got a good hinge right there, and he's got some toe articulation. All in all, pretty great, pretty well articulated figure. Next up will be accessories, which I have right off to the side. So he has these magnetic feet. And then he has, well, actually, I'll show you these magnetic feet pretty close. Pretty great. And they come on these little plastic trees. These little feet, these little trees for the hands and feet, which is pretty great. It makes it easier to keep track of. And then he has these magnetic open hands. So if you want to stick them to your fridge, you can. And then he comes with regular open hands, like the wall crawling type hands. Then he comes with a pair of thwipping hands. Now, the other thing is, this is more like his black costume. It's not the symbiote, because the symbiote has the black dots on the back of the wrists. So it's more based off of, I guess, the black costume. So like a Kraven's Last Hunt type Spider-Man. And then you got a pair of fists. He comes preloaded with the relaxed hands. He also has web slinging hands, which is great because he comes with multiple different web pieces, like the long grabbing web, like the long swinging web. It's all made out of this white plastic. It's kind of shiny. Well, mine's just flat out white plastic, and you have like these little web notches in there, and then he can grab it with his grabby hand, and he comes with 2 of these. He also comes with 2 long web effects, like he's blasting somebody with a web, or he's about to start swinging. And he comes with a smaller web effect. Now that's the one he uses to web up criminals. He also comes with a web backpack, which is not super hard to get on and off of him because of that sweet, sweet butterfly joint. And you see all like the little webbing. It looks like kind of like a grid. He's got the little web straps. And then he also comes with an alternate angry head. Like this head is more like a, I'll say more of like a surprised head, or more like just a flat out regular head sculpt. Like a more surprised head, like still an angry head sculpt, but more or less like this would be like his angry head, like he's mine. Like it's like he's got bigger teeth, and then so do I. That's what that reminds me of from Spider-Man 2. And it looks really cool. That's a really cool head sculpt. But unlike the 185, like some of the older Spider-Man figures, this one actually comes with a Peter Parker head. And he has the 5 o'clock shadow like he did during the 80s. And even though this isn't the symbiote suit, I mean, you can kind of use it as the symbiote suit or just the black costume. But this version has like the little like symbiote tendril like crawling up his neck onto his face type of effect. And this head is super easy to pop off. Just pop it right off, and I'll give you a closer look at that head sculpt while I do that. Pretty sick. And then just pop this right on, and voila, you have a super tired, possessed by the suit Peter Parker look. Oh, he also does come with a standard Mafex clear base stand, which is super helpful in posing. All right, and with that, I will move right along to the size comparisons so that you can see what he looks like with some of the other black suit Spider-Mans and some other Spider-Man figures and other characters in general. Now here he is with the Marvel Legends and Mezco black suit Spider-Man. So he is a tad shorter than the more traditional body mold for the Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures. And he is obviously shorter than the Mezcos, because some Mezcos run a bit taller, some of them are more in scale. It just depends on the source material. Also, if you look at the Spider-Man, the Mafex, he has more of a stockier build, I guess. So it's all just like different comic inspirations for them. And now moving right along, I'll show you what he looks like with a couple of red Spider-Men. Here he is with the Mafex 185 Spider-Man and the retro carded Spider-Man. Now, he is a bit shorter than the 185, which, you know, you can fudge it a little bit, just saying like this is like a younger version of Spider-Man or something like that. And like some of the pieces can pop off on either figure, so you can kind of give the red Spider-Man more of a symbiote's crawling onto him effect, or you can have it to where he's pulling the symbiote off of him. So that kind of works either way. I'll do a couple more comparisons and then I'll get up out of here. Here he is with the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Superman and Mafex 96 Wolverine. I did pre-order the new Daredevil figure for Mafex. I have that coming in December. And getting this figure makes me realize how many more Mafex figures I want to get. I want to finish my X-Men. I want to get the Venom. I want to get the Carnage. Since they're all like relatively decent price right now. And they're also coming out with like the Captain America, the Iron Man, the Thor. Like, I mean, they've already come out in the Captain America, but I want to build my like Marvel like 90s collection. I think that'd be pretty sick. Because it seems like the 80s and 90s is what they're pulling from for most of the Marvel stuff. DC, on the other hand, is doing like specific storylines like Dark Knight Returns, Hush, Nightfall, Death of Superman, Return of Superman. So DC's got their own thing going. I still like their figures, and I want to get more of the Hush line to get more Batman villains. But other than that, I just want to build my Marvel shelf more. Again, a few more comparisons, and then I'll get up out of here because I want to do like a Dark and Brooding thing, some Spider-Man villains. I'll be right back. Here he is with Snyder Cut Superman and Hush Batman, the black and gray version. And these three look like they are dark, brooding, and ready to ruin your night. Pretty sick. As soon as I got this figure, I was like, I know exactly what I want to do with it. Okay. Some Spider-Man villains, and I'll put in an Amazing Yamaguchi figure, and then that's it. And then the photos at the end. Here he is with the Amazing Yamaguchi Reverse Flash. I just wanted to see what the body molds would look like next to each other. Also, just to see what they'd look like, because I do really want to get that Thor. Okay, have him zoom right out of here. Zoom. Okay, and then I'll put him next to a couple of wise guys. Here is the... Well, as soon as I do that, I drop him. Here is the Marvel Legends Hammerhead. And here is the Marvel Legends Tombstone. And then finally, and then here's the last well-suited gentleman who takes out Tombstone, no problem. It is Kingpin. Here's all those guys together. I just wanted to see what he looked like with all these fancy gentlemen in suits. And finally, I have one last one. And this one's, if you know, you know. Here he is with the Marvel Legends Shocker. You wanna know why? Because you can't escape him. He'll chase you to the ends of the earth. And that's it. That is my Medicom Mafex Spider-Man Black Costume 147 review. please enjoy the photos at the end, and check out my TikTok and Instagram if you like more of my content. If you want any other figures, let me know in the comments. Please just let me know. I have plenty of figures, plenty of Mafex figures I could cover. More Mezco's reviews on the way. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much. Check out the photos.